So in the past couple weeks, a lot has changed for Enshrouded, especially with the new Wake of Water update and its combat changes. I actually find it much more fun right now as it became more rewarding to build the right kit to dominate the endgame, for which I already shared two builds earlier, my Brutal Berserker and Deadly Archer build, that both hit like a truck and are super satisfying to play. And today I'm excited to share my third, a new Immortal Tank build to deal with any situation, which, as the name suggests, is much beefier, but also deadly for foes. Let's go. Quick reminder, especially now that Black Friday is around the corner, check out my link in the description if you want to seal a nice deal on servers. Not only for Enshrouded, but for many other games. I also got a lot of requests from people who asked if I could do a little base tour, so here it is. My little fish farm, a humble base that comes with pretty much everything you need for the endgame. It's small yet efficient with all the NPCs pretty close to each other. So we've got the alchemist looking at us right now, the blacksmith. I always place my resources right next to them, so it's going to be easier to gain access to them. We've got the archer with all the hunter trophies right here. We've got our dwarf right here on a plateau, so we are on same height, let's say. Also some building blocks and other NPCs, while if we walk outside, we've got our fisherman friends, our farmer, and yeah, all the farmland we need, as well as animals to basically get our hands on the essentials to do cooking. I also like this ship mast right here. I can just easily hook on it, so it's going to be much easier to start gliding to wherever I need to be, with also the Dragdal Temple east of me, so it's going to be easy to pick up some resources right here. But yeah, I think this is an amazing place in the world. Anyways, let's move on to the build itself. After covering all the gear, by the way, I'm also going to share why I prioritize these parts over, let's say, the alternative options. Anyways, the first one right here is the Sunpiercer helmet. Comes with a nice combination of physical and magical armor, but especially the melee critical strike chance and critical strike damage really help you to take out foes much easier as a tank. Because with a one-handed weapon, you do lack some damage, but this kind of makes up for that. Then we also have the Golden Bulwark chestplate. What's very interesting about this piece is it actually comes with plus 50 cutting damage. The one-handed weapon which we use also comes with cutting damage, so it actually gives you the best damage modifier that you don't find on the Sunpiercer more aggressive set, let's say. Nice amount of both HP and HP regeneration. The Golden Bulwark gloves as well come with increased melee damage and more block, which means if we block and especially parry foes, that's going to be more efficient. Then we also have the Golden Bulwark pants with HP and stamina regeneration. Pretty interesting, it comes with plus 50 piercing damage right here. Anyways, as last piece, we also have the Drakian boots. Very nice balance of both magical and physical armor, but also a bonus to deal more damage against Drak. As rings, I'm still running double Rings of Thundersnow. In my opinion, it's the best ring in the game as of today. Not just because of that shock damage, but especially the mana regeneration, which is almost impossible to get your hands on as melee build, let's say, while you're still gonna need some for your updraft and other abilities. Anyways, as shield, I decided to go with the Sunpiercer shield right now. This one comes with less block compared to the other one, but it does come with more parry power, which means if you parry a foe or block at the right time, this is gonna fill up the white bar faster, which allows you to then merciless attack and execute your foes much easier. Let me quickly show you the alternatives right here. If we check out armor crafting, we've got the Golden Bulwark shield, 268 parry power and only a little bit more block. So I'd say definitely go with the Sunpiercer. It's gonna be more fun to play with in general, while if you're too lazy to parry, you should go with this one. Sunpiercer actually comes with much more HP and a nice amount of stamina, so if you think that's very important, you could actually go with it. While I'd say the extra cutting damage on this one is much more interesting. Then for the gloves, we get two-handed melee damage right here, not relevant for the build as we're using a one-hander and a shield. Golden Bulwark pants come with a piercing damage, health and stamina regeneration. This one comes with health and health regeneration. I don't think it's interesting. Then the Golden Bulwark boots, health, stamina regen, and right here health regen and health regen delay. I think the Drakian boots are far more superior, also because they come with extra magical armor. The helmet was a very tough decision, as the Golden Bulwark one actually comes with a nice amount of parry power and a whopping 44% increased merciless attack damage. You're not always triggering those merciless attacks, so still I prefer this one over the other, but it's definitely worth figuring out what works best for you. I think both of them are amazing. Our melee weapon though is super important. It can really make or break your build, as the modifiers it comes with can increase your survivability drastically. That's why I decided to go with the Deathgazer Axe, because yeah, our Guard of the North sword suddenly became a two-hander. Still looks like a one-hander, but look at these modifiers right here. So we get increased backstab damage. That's nothing fantastic. Opportunistic, not great either, but the extra health life leech, the extra magic shock damage is interesting as well. Nothing life-changing, but a secondary life leech right here allows us to heal up to full in no time. But yes, with the absence of cheesing loot right now, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to secure a specific weapon, so these would be some great alternatives if you find them first. The Frostwing Axe, still one of the previous update of level 40, but look at this one right here. Increased critical strike chance, increased cutting damage, more health life leech, and also increased health regen. That would be an awesome one for the build. Renewal, nothing crazy. Cutting damage, retaliation, also meh. But we've got health and mana leech right here, which could also be interesting if you want to try some hybrid melee magical physical build. Let's say the Apex Machete. Piercing damage, precise, increased critical strike chance, piercing damage once again, and also ruthless, 30% increased critical strike damage against soaked enemies. A situation that pops up quite often in the Veilwater Basin, but not life-changing. We also have the Mace of the Wrath right here. We've got 3 times Merciless on it, so basically if you are good at blocking, I'd say this is the absolute best weapon to go for, while unfortunately it doesn't come with any life leech. We still have other tools in our kit though that can provide. Then we also have the Totem Head Mace. Brutal, increases critical strike damage. We've got 2 times blunt damage, magic shock damage, and another Brutal, increased critical strike damage. So again, an interesting one. I think maces can be really good. Well, if you decide to go with them, you do have to change your skill set a little bit, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Right now, I want to give you a quick tip how you can easily secure these legendaries of the highest level. I already made plenty of videos about this, or where I included this information, but long story short, you want to make your way to the Gateway Outpost Endflame, Cromville, and the Cromville Throne Room, as right here you can find a massive cluster of legendary chests that all come with the highest level loot. We also have a hidden tomb right here near the Dragdoll Temple and the historic battleground. We've got a chest near the mining rift. Check out all those every hour and you're basically set. I also saw many people roll with the Gem of Lycantrophy. This is a very popular one these days, which is amazing indeed, as it gives you insane damage modifiers and also other attribute bonuses when, of course, you pick up those Night Orbs, which can be found at the Lacemaker Pond inside this Night Sanctum. But that bonus only pops up during the night if you kill foes, and most of the times it's daytime. And I usually just skip through the night, so instead what I recommend you to do is take a Gem of Cold Composure. This one comes with a whopping 73 physical armor and magic points on level 35, so imagine how much more powerful it becomes on the maximum level. It does decrease your movement speed when blocking, but still it also gives this frost explosion. I think it's a very nice one, and I don't know man, it just makes you look really badass when you do this. So now that we've talked about all the essentials you need to get your hands on for this build, let's go and check out the skill points. I'm gonna refund all so you can see my amount of total available skill points. This indeed is an endgame build, so you're gonna need quite a lot of those, but still, I want to remind you that I haven't completed all the Shroud routes just yet, so there's still room for me to get much more of these points, level up more as well, as I'm still not the maximum level. So you can definitely make this tank build work, even if you're still in the Albanese summits. Anyways, the first essentials. I struggle to keep those in the lumberjack, mason, etc. But still, I do pick up mason as right here. We also have the quality gear to lose durability 50% slower. Take the merciless attack right here, the power parry, so you can fill up that stun bar of enemies faster, the opportunity as well, increase backstab damage, as this actually happens more often than you think. You also want to pick up the giant slayer hook and grinding hook, so you can propel yourself against larger foes, or take the flying ones out of the sky and take care of them with ease. Don't go with Savior or whatever, while I do recommend you to pick up the Dexterity, the Airborne to consume less stamina when gliding, especially because this build doesn't come with a lot of that, the Updraft, and what I also like to pick up is the Silent Stride and especially Kick. Your Spartan Kick to literally kick enemies into the abyss. It's so much fun to execute. Well, you're gonna need some good placement for that. Anyways, next up we're gonna pick up the Strength right here, the Crash Down attack, the Double Jump, deal more damage with Crash Down. We're also gonna pick up Steadfast, defeating an enemy also restores durability, and the Upwards Slash attack. This is actually a very cool combo I only recently discovered, guys. What you can do is, jump and do the uppercut. If you double jump or single jump, you can slash once again. Oops, I just destroyed some stuff from my base. Let's take this elsewhere. Oh wow, beautiful sunset right there. So basically you can jump and smash down, or jump and very quickly tap to do that uppercut. But look at this right here. You can actually uppercut and then smash down if you just spam your left mouse. This is gonna help you to take out those aerial foes much easier. I think it's a very cool combo actually. Well, I still recommend you to pick up two magical abilities. With the Constitution right here, go for Shiny Plates to increase your physical armor. The Evasion attack, also heal yourself with critical strikes with a Battle Heal. Arcane Deflection, successfully parrying also restores mana. I think it's a very nice one. The Blink and also Emergency Blink. I talked about this in previous guides as well, but basically if you get trapped, stunned, you can just blink out of it, and your blink also becomes this pretty cool dodge attack, which is also nice as gap closer to reach ranged or fleeing foes much easier. That's basically it for all the essentials. Right now we can move on to the damage dealing stuff, which is gonna make this build hit like a truck. So we're gonna pick up the Strength right here, also go for the Finesse, lose durability slower, take the increased backstab damage, Blood Warrior, defeating an enemy with a Sneak or Merciless attack will spawn a Health Orb. Merciless attack is with that block parry, Constitution, Strength right here. Don't go for any of the wet or soak dog stuff. Don't think it's interesting. Also take the Vigorous Deflection to not only get mana but stamina when you successfully parry. The Bash, also a very nice one. 200, not relevant. Let's quickly check out this one right here. Filling up enemy stun bars is increased. There we go. Feast increases your HP by an additional 15% when eating meat snacks. The Warrior's Path, right here we've got a Strength node, and then we basically have to choose between Slasher, Brute or Thrust. This is for piercing damage, usually the Morning Stars and other types of weapons. Blunt is like maces, and the Slasher is like axes and swords. That's why I like to go with a Cutter. We've got another one right here, and the Veteran also increases your critical strike chance by 10%. Imagine if you go with the piercing damage right here, you have to go with a great sword damage or something else to basically make your way to Veteran. So I think that's not the best route to go. Instead, with the blunt damage, you can also reach it pretty quickly. So that's why I recommend you to not waste points right here, while we can take another Constitution. That's where you do miss one Strength node, but that's fine. Also take the one-handed swords and axe one right here. That's not maces, keep that in mind if you decide to go with mace. Also Constitution. And now we also want to go for some tanky stuff. Defeating a shroud-infested enemy restores time in a shroud. You could take this, but still I don't think it's very interesting. Instead, I like to go for the heavy plates right here. Constitution, and take both resistances. This is going to increase your physical damage when you have enemies nearby, and this is going to increase your magical resistance when enemies are nearby. In both cases, you will always get something pop up around you, so you know enemies are nearby if you're searching through a dungeon and don't know for sure if you've cleared it yet. We've got a Strength, we've got another Strength, a Constitution, And you could go with Absorb right here, but that's not really relevant. If you want, you can go further down the tanky road, but I don't know. Right now, we're going to go for more survivability, which is the, survivor tree. Take the runner, sprint speed is increased and stamina cost decreased. Endurance, Sweet Tooth is actually super good, guys. Stamina regeneration of sweets is increased by 50%. I have a delicious snack, which we're going to talk about in a second, that can make this go wild. Trust me, it's going to be snacks on steroids. Anyways, we've got dexterity right here. The dessert stomach. Right now, we can eat 4 snacks instead of 3. And also the last meal. I think this one is especially important for the end game. I can't stress this out enough. Everyone should have this on their builds, because the last meal, you will simply keep all the food bonuses after death, which can save you a lot of time, as especially in the end game, they become increasingly more difficult to prepare. Anyways, seems like I did miss some essential damage modifiers right here, which are actually part of the two-handed barbarian tree. This is, something you could just pass on, but in my opinion, this is gonna really make a difference in terms of dealing damage. Pick up the strength, you could pick up the constitution, but it's not essential. Take relentless, yes, this says two-handed weapons, you just want to ignore that. We need that for this constitution, heavy specialization, but especially the barbarian and blood rage. Right now, if you defeat an enemy, you fall into a blood rage and increase your melee damage by 20% for 10 seconds. I know it's an expensive one to build towards, but still, I think it's a must-have, and all the rest of the points we can basically distribute in more constitution or strength. We've got another strength node right here, which is a little bit more difficult to reach. Instead, we can pick up more endurance, as this is gonna, give us more stamina. Don't go for the dex. I think we're complete right now. GG. Wow, such terrible weather, but remember this, guys. The cosmetic which I'm currently using actually makes it much lighter around us. This is the diving helmet. I'm just using this one for cosmetic purposes, but it still lights up the darkness much easier. Anyways, let's talk snacks, the delicious dishes you want to prepare to basically get the most out of this build, for which I very much recommend you to, of course, always go with a meat slot, because these meats will increase your HP by another 15% if you eat them. The HP, ranged or dagger damage dish right here is not relevant. Same counts for the meat wrap. What I like to go is take either the beef stew or the crab cakes. The 280 plus 15% is going to be amazing, while it also gives you that plus 21% more damage against wildlife and wildebeest, while the beef stew can be a great alternative if you have easy access to eggs and raw fatty meat. Both of them are nice, take whatever floats your boat. Anyways, next up we've got fruit items. I don't think these are interesting for the build. Instead, I recommend you to just scroll down a little bit. You could go with ginger tea if you want to have extra stamina, but also this right here I don't think is going to be amazing. Remember our sweet tooth? The stamina regeneration of sweets is increased by 50%. That's why you want to focus on one of these snacks right here. They're all sweets. Unfortunately though, they only last for like 2 to 3 minutes. The new honey baked banana though, plus 85 stamina regen, plus 50%, that's gonna be insane. So that's what I like to take as secondary snack. Then we also have our melee damage supplies as third. You can either go with the fried rice, 21% increased melee damage, while I like to go with the creamy mushroom spatzel. This one comes with 3% less, but still we also get extra stam and stamina regen. So in my opinion, it's much more interesting to cook over the blue dish. Well, as final dish, it was pretty difficult for me to determine what to pick, as most of them right here are either ranged or dagger damage, magic damage, and then we also have the special foods that come with more HP and oxygen. We can finally make the grilled fish with coconut rice, by the way, as the developers finally placed the seared fish fillet. Definitely the best option to go with right here, while it's also pretty challenging to make, as you need to first catch 5 epic fish. What I like to take as alternative is this stupid Shadow Bloom wrap, 160 HP. Much more compared to the grilled fish. If we look at all the rest right here, all the HP modifiers aren't fantastic, so definitely go with a coconut rice if you have the time for big game fishing, while if you just want to go for an insane HP modifier, the Shadow Bloom wrap is gonna be an awesome one for that. Additionally, we also have a ton of different consumables these days. Potions, obviously easy to prevent death in general, but what I think you should always have with you are the new Drag Stalwart Flasks, as they simply increase your damage against drug by 10%. 45 minutes, and they're super easy to make. Simply visit the Alchemist. We also have the Diver's Endurance Flask, not a life-changing one, but still nice to have with you. Also stays for quite a lot of time. The Wisp of Light makes exploration easier. The Ice Protection Lotion, but especially the Elixir right here, comes with plus 20% damage against Fel. This is like one of the most overlooked items in the game as of today, and I only recently rediscovered it as well, which is super easy to farm. Let me quickly show you where. I rediscovered this place because in the end game you actually need a lot of lockpicks and you don't see metal scraps popping up all the time. That's how I rediscovered this stupid little POI called Rookmore, only a little bit southwest of the ancient spire of Springlands, with super low level enemies. I mean, you simply want to take them out one by one. If you take out the foes, you also get these glowing red hands, which means your damage is increased by 20%. Wow, that's 4 times the metal scraps. That's absurd. But yeah, you just want to look in every nook and cranny of the camp. You can also find some scraps lying on the floor, basically. You can search these piles of metal and you will get even more scraps. Be careful for the explosions. But hey, this also brings us to the potions. These are simply sitting on the table, called Mysterious Flask. If you check out your inventory, the Mysterious Flask basically becomes Elixir with that plus 20% damage against Fel. Anyways, you can also craft or secure Shroud Survival Flasks to increase your time in the Shroud. Don't think these are life-changing, while what is interesting are the improved bandages. Pretty expensive to craft, but you can also find these inside the tombs, which I covered yesterday for the epic Bloodfeather set and all Eternal spells. You definitely want to check out this video, which can be found in the top right of the screen. But yeah, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. A big thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, a like would be very much appreciated. And if you have things to add to this build, let us know in the comments. Questions or suggestions for future videos, very welcome right there as well. Right now though, it's 4 AM out. I want to wish you an amazing day. I'll check you with the next one. Peace.